So about 5 months ago, I started building an app. I've never coded before in my entire life. Like, I'm not a software engineer despite my appearance. I'm actually a marketer. And I've been into paid media buying, which is basically doing Facebook ads and Google ads and Reddit ads for different companies. I've had my own agency for about a year now. And before that, I was the head of marketing at an AI startup in San Francisco. And so that was my experience. And I will say, like, that startup was a consumer app. It was an AI video editor. And so I have been in that sphere of understanding product and engineering teams and that sort of thing, like that sort of business. But I've never coded myself. But around 5 months ago, I had an idea for an app that I really wanted to make. Like, I wanted to make this so bad that I thought that I was about to just commit 9 months of my life to learning computer science from scratch. Like, I literally had that plan come out. And around that time, I also started asking, like, my software engineer friends. I remember specifically I asked the CTO of that company I was at. I told him, I have this idea and, like, I want to make it. Can you point me in the right direction, like what I should start learning? And he pointed me to Lovable, which is this platform, which is the first sort of lesson and tip I want to get into, which is this platform like Lovable. I'm not saying Lovable specifically. It's very helpful for people who don't know how to code and don't ever want to look at code. Lovable is this platform where you can just like type in a prompt for your idea for your app, and very quickly it just puts it together. And you might be more familiar these days that AI is just really good at coding. And so you don't actually need to learn how to code if you want to create like an initial product. If you want to create something enough to the point where you can test it in the market. And so that's exactly what I did when the CTO told me that. I opened Lovable and I just started putting all my ideas for what the app should be. And initially, I wanted to make an AI journal. That was my idea because for the last year and a half, every single day I started putting in an hour of my own writing into ChatGPT. And I know it's kind of crazy. It's like, why is he writing for an hour? That's already pretty weird. And like now he's putting it into AI. But that's exactly what I started doing. And what I would find is that AI would be beautiful at summarizing exactly what my raw thoughts were. And this writing was anything I had on my mind. It wasn't like I need to write this specific thing for work or I need to journal about this topic and go deeper. Like, it was anything goes. And so it was a very good sort of stream of my raw thinking that I started putting into AI every day, and I did that for about a year and a half. And I decided this app was going to be an AI journal of some sorts. I knew that there was something there that I wanted to build out more. And so that's what I did with Lovable, and that's where I started. And I was there for a few months, and now I use Codex or ChatGPT, which is basically I pay like $200 a month, like US, to be able to code a lot in their platform. And I moved off of Lovable completely, and so there's this concept of front end and back end when you have an app. And when you use something like Lovable initially, it's great if you don't want to ever look at code, but you will eventually plateau with that if you're really trying to learn about this. But that's my advice that I give to people. I live in Bali, and I meet a lot of retired people, a lot of people who, you know, they already did their thing, like they're maybe late 30s, 40s, sometimes early 30s. They already like made a lot of money and they're sort of just chilling out here, but a lot of them are looking for a new purpose. And I give them the advice to use Lovable because you don't need to think about code. It's just a creative expression tool. If you can just imagine any idea of what sort of software or app you want to make, then just use Lovable and then you'll be able to create it and be able to see it. And the next piece of advice I'll give is don't think of this as software or coding. Think of this more as a creative expression tool, which is what AI is turning more into now. Where in the past, it's like if you wanted to make a photo or video, you would maybe get a camera and you would take a photo, or you'd use your phone and then you would put it into Photoshop. And if you wanted to get into creating a video, you would again get a camera and then you would put it into like Premiere, these days CapCut. Think of this as another form of that tool that used to just be gated to software engineers or people who studied computer science. Now, anyone can sort of create an interface or create some form of an application on a laptop or a phone using these tools. And yes, there's still like it's not perfect yet. Like if you really want to make like a mobile app, there's still some like more complicated problem solving you'll have to do. And so if you're not good with computers, or you're not good at just regular problem solving, which I would say if anyone's ever built a business before, or anyone has just worked on just more complex problems, like you'd be able to figure out everything you need to figure out using AI agents. But if you're someone who isn't as familiar with problem solving in this way, then I would say that you wouldn't be able to just make a successful mobile app in the next few weeks. Like there's still problems there. But all of that's going to be solved in the next few years. And so I'd still recommend viewing this as a new type of worldview paradigm, a new form of expression, using AI agents to be able to create whatever application you want. And this doesn't just have to be for creating your own business, creating your own app. This should be almost like a new paradigm, worldview. Like you get to create things that are just good for you. Like you can create tools that are just useful for you, and you don't have to give it to anyone else. And so I have friends, and we talk a lot about agentic workflows, about what we're doing with these apps. And like I have a friend who owns movie theaters, for example, but he just has like an agent just solving little admin things for himself within that business. Like he's not using it to like sell this to other people and create this app. No, he just found this little loop that helps him with the management, with the staff there, with like the movie schedules that are going out every week. And so he just solved a problem for himself. And in that same way, if you have any problems that you're just going through right now, you don't even know if they're problems yet, I bet. But if you just have things you're doing every day, once you just start getting in the habit of like prompting AI, you can start with Lovable, but eventually get like a Claude Code or Codex. Once you get in the habit of understanding how they can help you or what they can do, then you'll start getting the ideas of different parts of your life that you can just start giving to these AI agents, or it can start helping you more with. And that could mean automating the thing, or it could mean just enhancing that activity in general. Like, for example, I know this is a business example, but in my marketing agency, I have to look at a lot of ad data. I have to create new creatives. I have to analyze it. And for example, one of my clients is a psychedelic retreat. They're called Beckley Retreats. And for them, like, there's ads, and then there's leads, and then there's conversion, there's a sales team, there's a screening team, and like all this stuff. And looking at all of that data together would make me have better advertising. And so what I'm able to do is I'm able to use the agents to be able to analyze all that data to actually enhance my ability to make better ads and make better decisions by organizing the data. While before, I would just be looking through all these tables, all these ads, all these numbers, and have to like think through myself to make a decision. Which, like, I will say, do not, like, you'll run into this error where you kind of give too much of your thinking to the AI. Like, really try hard not to do that. It's something that I'm running into even right now. Like this morning, I ran into this where I'm realizing while building my app that I'm sort of letting the AI make decisions or come up with ideas a bit too much. And it's making me get confused about what it's creating. And that makes me just waste so much time because it's not actually progressing towards the goal I need it to, because I'm losing track of the mission of the goal. And so in that same way, you want to use it to be able to help you make better decisions, but stay aware of when you're giving it too much power in your creative thinking. It's another huge lesson here, a mistake that I've been making over and over again. And in general, like, I don't want this to go too long. Like, I think the overall paradigm and lesson here is to get in the habit of just trying to use AI in different workflows, trying to come up with little internal automations and internal apps for yourself. That's the greatest lesson that I could give you here, because there's just not enough, like, you'll never find perfect content for this of people teaching you exactly what you should do here. What's really beautiful about this is it can become so custom to your own situation, to your own business, your own personal life. And you can create little loops and systems to be able to help you in that way. And so if you can really get in the habit of trying every time that you're trying to do something, and then you bring in AI and you really challenge yourself, like, what could I do to automate this? What can I do to make something work here for myself to improve this? Just building that little muscle in yourself, I think, is the most useful thing you can do here, because the models are only going to get better. The apps that making apps easier are only going to get more seamless and good. Like in a few years, like you can snap your fingers and it'll be hosted on the App Store. It'll be even better than they are right now. And so I think the learning, the paradigm, the want to fail at making this a skill for yourself, like that's the most important lesson I would give you from what I've learned these last 5 months, because I feel like it's made me just such a better operator, not just in making an app or coding, but in the other areas of my life, in my other business, in my ability to make good decisions. So that's what I'll leave you with. And if you want more like this, check out channel, app, comments, whatever you want. Peace.